Aston Villa 0, Tottenham 4. Tottenham walk away with a crucial, so crucial 3 points on the road at Aston Villa. Welcome into Top of the Perch. I am your host, as always, Nick Burt. Listen, this was going to be a difficult game no matter what the circumstances was. Given that Aston Villa going into this game were 5 points atop us in the table, sitting in fourth while we were sitting in fifth, this game was going to be crucial for how this is going to end up playing out the rest of the season. Who's going to get that top four spot? And, John McGinn, the Aston Villa captain, he said, this is one of our, maybe not if, the most important game in our recent history. And guess what? You just got 4 put up on you by Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham Hotspur. So this was a interesting game, to say the least. Tottenham game started out. It wasn't great. I know Tottenham had an opportunity like in the 5th minute-ish. I believe it was in the 5th minute. Emi Martinez, the goalkeeper, was passing it around in the box. Tottenham had an opportunity to steal it. Instead, Aston Villa get it out. They get it to Ollie Watkins, who was on a breakaway. And it took a amazing run from Mickey van de Ven to save it from ending up in the back of the net, most likely. And he kept the game at 0-0. We moved to the 18th minute. Tottenham had a good corner opportunity that was cleared out. It looked like it was going straight to, I believe it was Mickey van de Ven's head to put it in the back of the net. But then, right off of that, after that clearance, it ends up with an opportunity for Aston Villa on the counterattack. Pedro Porro, who returns to the starting lineup, he affected it a lot in this one to make sure that this game stayed at 0-0 on another counterattacking opportunity for Aston Villa. Most likely would have been offsides in the end, but still, it was a major stop. They had a few of those opportunities today, and obviously it just didn't end up working out. 43rd minute, Brendan Johnson brought it into the box. Looked like he was going to try to cross right at the goal line, but Emi Martinez comes and makes the save. And then we went into halftime. We go into halftime. It's 0-0. Tottenham had like 70% possession, somewhere around there. They had a lot of possession in the first half. They had, I believe, one total shot. They had one shot on goal, I believe. And you can have all the possession in the world, but if you don't do anything with it, it is meaningless. Aston Villa, they only had like 30% of the possession in that first half. I believe they had 3 shots total. One of them was on target. So, it wasn't much different from what Tottenham put out. But if you're going to play this football, you have to get attacking opportunities, especially when you have 70% possession. And of course, you can look at the irony of John McGinn saying, this is our most important game in recent memory. And then Unai Emery bringing out the most defensive-minded squad and lineup. It was just disgusting to watch, if we're honest. So we come out of halftime. Ange, of course, it always seems like he gives great talks to the men, but it was right out of half. Aston Villa kind of on the attack. I believe it gets to Ollie Watkins again, who is right in on net with Vicario staring him down, and he just whiffs it high of the bar. And that did feel like kind of I won't say a turning point, because it really wasn't like a gigantic turning point in the game, but it did feel like this was a point that we're like, hey, this is where the game's going to kind of diverge from where we expected it. So that was in just like I said, the first minute coming out of the break. We get to the 50th minute. Dejan Kulusevski, right at the halfway line, gets it to Pop Sarr, who, oh my gosh, what a beautiful cross into the box. My gosh, he is such a special player. Crosses it in the box. James Maddison right there. Boots it into the back of the net. It is 1-0 for Tottenham. We're in the 50th minute. It was just the cross from Sarr truly is what made this whole thing happen. It was just it was the perfect cross placed in the perfect position because Maddison was splitting two Aston Villa defenders. He just gets his foot on it, bam, right in the back of the net, and it's 1-0 for Tottenham. It felt like a goal that was needed because the way the first half played out, we really didn't know if we were going to get a ton of goals in this game. We obviously get the first goal, and Tottenham is up 1-0. And really, from there, it didn't really change. I mean, it was 3 minutes later, 53rd minute. It was a turnover by Aston Villa. It was Kulusevski at it again. He pops it to Son, gets it to Brendan Johnson, puts it in the back of the net, right top corner. And it is 2-0 for Tottenham in just 3 minutes. 3 minutes ago, it was 0-0. Tottenham now up 2-0. Kind of seems like the 3 points mostly in the bag. You can never be sure with Tottenham, but this did kind of feel like this game most likely kind of over. And then we get to the 65th minute. Aston Villa had another good opportunity. They miss it. Udogie going on the counterattack. John McGinn just takes his leg and just whips it right into Udogie's knee. Udogie goes down. John McGinn, of course, the club captain. This is the most important game in our recent history. Straight red, gets sent off. He's acting like he didn't do anything wrong when this could have been a broken leg type tackle. It was absolutely disgusting what he did. The fact that it was even a question if it was a red card is shambolic. He's acting like he didn't do anything wrong. He literally does not even try to attempt to take the ball. He just uses his leg as a battering ram and just rams it right into the knee. And, Udogie, luckily okay. But it was just an absolutely disgusting play. But I expect nothing less from Aston Villa. They did it in the last game. Matty Cash went right in on Rodrigo Bentancur. That injured him again. And he was out for another few months. Aston Villa's absolutely disgusting club. Just some of the football they play, not great. We had a corner in the 84th minute where I believe Zinolio ended up kicking Vicario in the head, which was something. We get to the 90th minute. It was another just great build-up. Romero gets it to Porro, who gets it to Kulusevski, who is on these a lot today. Kulusevski is going to cross it into the box, gets it right to Son. Son's right around where the penalty spot is. He just blasts it in the back of the net. It's 3-0 Tottenham. This game was over after the red card. Now it's just salt in the wound. And Son makes it 3-0 for Tottenham. And it really did feel like right around the 70th, 80th minute, it really felt like Aston Villa kind of just quit this game. Because then, another few minutes later, Son gets the ball again. He takes a shot in on net to straight on goal to Martinez. It was another good opportunity, though. Then we get to the 94th minute. I believe this was Bentancur who gets it to Son once again. Son gets it to Werner. Werner puts it in the back of the net, and that is going to be your final showpiece of this game. It is 4-0 Tottenham. It was 10 minutes of stoppages, so 2 goals in stoppage time. But Tottenham walk away with the 3 points, and, it turned into 4-0 Park instead of 3-point Lane, like Aston Villa called Tottenham Hotspur Stadium after their win earlier this season. 4-0 Park has quite nice ring to it as Tottenham get the victory in this one. So if we take a look at the stats, it kind of seemed like this was coming. Tottenham, 69% possession, 31 for Aston Villa. Luckily, Tottenham actually got goals out of it. Like I said, first half didn't look great. Did not look great, honestly. Shots, Aston Villa's slight edge, 10-9. Shots on target, though, that's a key one. Tottenham Hotspur 5, Aston Villa 1. If you have 10 shots and only 1 is on target, that's not great. Not great at all. Shots in the box total, Aston Villa and Tottenham tied at 7. So we didn't see a ton of shots outside the box in this game, which isn't really surprising with the way both teams kind of played defensively today. Shots out the box, Aston Villa's slight advantage there, 3-2. Tottenham Hotspur once again outperformed their expected goals, as their expected goals was at 1.55 compared to Aston Villa's 0.83. And of course, Tottenham had 4 goals in the game, so they outperformed that expected goals. Passes, when you play a very defensive-minded lineup like Unai Emery decided to do today, 303 passes kind of seems about right. Tottenham at 708. That is quite the difference there. 239 passes were accurate for Aston Villa today, which is only 79%. So once again, Tottenham forcing those bad passes, those turnovers. We saw it on some of the goals. They directly came from Aston Villa turnovers. So that big key in this one. Tottenham had 647 completed passes for 91% possession. Fouls, Tottenham the advantage here, which of course you don't want to be in the advantage on fouls. They had 15 compared to Aston Villa's 11. Aston Villa had 0 yellow cards in this game. They did have the John McGinn red, which of course John McGinn turned into John McGaughan. Tottenham had 2 yellow cards in this game. The corners, interestingly enough, Aston Villa had the advantage there, 6-4. That kind of surprised me a little. I didn't really expect that, but that's where they end up. So given that we've just taken a look at what these stats looked like for this game, it is time to do the player ratings. As always, we'll start up at the top. Heung-min's son, 9.3, your player of the match. Just a great player, honestly. He had the goal in the 90th. He had 2 assists on the game. Not much else can be said except he is a world talent. Truly one of my favorite players in Tottenham history, recent history, I guess I would say. I don't think I'm going to say what I was going to say because I really don't know if it's true. But I will say Heung-min's son is a legend of the game. Just what a great player he is. It looks like they're going to be working on a longer term contract soon, which very much makes me happy because he is this team, and what a great player he is. Brendan Johnson, he comes into the lineup today. Obviously, replacing Werner. He had the goal last week. He just made a very good appearance last week. He earns a starting spot today. I personally don't think I would have put him in instead of Werner. I would have started Werner and maybe replaced Kulusevski in this one. But, hey, can't complain with that one. Brendan Johnson does end up with a goal in this game, the second goal of the game. He earns an 8.2. James Maddison, a very, very good performance from him today. I know we were kind of worried about him a few weeks ago. I think it's fair to say he's back. He has the first goal of the game, which was, of course, the game winner. It was just, this was a game where it kind of reinstated your faith, I guess I would say, in James Maddison, which kind of was needed. But it was a very, very good performance nonetheless from him. He earns an 8.1. Yves Bissouma, he earns a 7.9. I thought, it wasn't his best of games, but it certainly wasn't worse because we've seen bad ones from him. I think overall he played a very decent game today. Popsar earns an 8.1. What a performance. What a performance. That cross on the assist that he got for that James Maddison goal. It's so hard to describe because that ball has to be placed perfectly with James Maddison splitting two defenders. And for him to just perfectly cross it in and just boot it in the back of the net. There's so much on Sarr. And for how young he is, he's just such a good talent. I'm so glad that Tottenham signed him 3 years ago, I think. Signed him 3 years ago. They sent him right back out on loan. He came officially in last year. Conte didn't rate him at all, which that's a massive indictment there. And then he comes straight into this Postecoglou squad and is just otherworldly. I think it's fair to say that Tottenham without him are a much worse team. They are much worse without him. This whole back line, what a performance today. There were points the past few years where obviously this back line wasn't great. We had Eric Dyer and Ben Davies as the two starting center backs. You had Royale through in there, which, Royale's an okay player, but starting constantly, not so much. This back line today, our first team back line of Udogie, Van de Ven, Romero, and Porro, they're a game changer. They really are. Destiny Udogie earns an 8.4. Luckily, he's not injured after that John McGinn tackle. Just absolutely disgusting what that tackle was. Earns an 8.4. I thought he had an outstanding performance today. Mickey Van de Ven earns a 7.8. He was the reason this game was still 0-0 at half. This dude was keeping us in the game. He was the best player of the first half. Worryingly, he was sent off in the subbed off in the 49th minute. That it does worry me a bit, but because of a potential hamstring injury, which we already dealt with this year, hopefully it's nothing serious, but I'm always prepared for the worst. Christian Romero, another performance with 0 fouls. That's huge. Huge. Another performance with 0 fouls. That's my vice captain. Earns an 8.4. Great performance. Pedro Porro returns to the starting lineup after his injury, and truly it didn't look like he missed a beat. What a performance from him. I truly think he is a key of why we are here right now. Table-wise, goals-wise, he is the reason why I think we're here. Obviously, he's not doing everything up front scoring-wise, but he's making things happen. Finally, Jumaligi Vicario earns an 8.0. I mean, he didn't face a ton of shots today, but the ones he did, he saved, and it earned him a clean sheet. If we look at the subs, Dragisin came in for Van de Ven after that apparent hamstring injury. He earns a 6.9. I mean, I thought he did decent. I feel confident in him starting if Van de Ven is out injured. I'm very glad that we have some depth there now. So that's always good. Bentancur, he got subbed on for Sarr in the 70th minute. Earns a 6.6. I didn't think it was an outstanding performance, but he only played like 20 minutes. So you can't really take a ton from not playing well in 20 minutes. So Werner and Højbjerg both got subbed on in the 87th minute. Werner gets the goal in the 94th. Højbjerg just puts in a session in the midfield. And then Ange Postecoglou earns an 8. I thought this is a very good lineup. I mean, you can't argue when you get 4 goals out of this lineup that you did bad. So a very, very good performance from the gaffer today, mate. So given that, what a week. What a week for Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, they came into this game, I honestly was a little bit worried, but we walk out 4-0. Yes, we still sit in 5th, but we still have a game in hand. And hey, anything can really happen if we're honest. Anything can truly happen. We're in mid-March-ish, I guess. But hey, anything can happen. I'm just aiming for top 4 right now. Top 4, and we'll keep progressing. I think top 4 will show what Postecoglou can do, and we upgrade from there. So next up, it's Fulham, Craven Cottage next Saturday. So it's a short-ish week. I mean, it's 6-day difference between games, so it kind of sucks. But hey, can't complain. So Tottenham get the 4-0 victory in this one, and they are off to Fulham next week. So that's next time you're going to see Top the Perch. So thank you so much for watching. If you just stumbled across this video, click like, click subscribe, tell anybody you know about it. Join in for this run to the finish of the Premier League season, as June is creeping towards us, whether we know it or not. It is sure creeping towards us, and make sure you stay tuned in to Top of the Perch for all your latest Tottenham Hotspur reactions. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again next Saturday to recap Tottenham's trip to Fulham on another episode of Top of the Perch.